porn, I watch it comfortably so that I cannot expect you to give me what I don't know about myself.
Correct.
You wanna set the scene. Like no, let's not do that. Timalibon, why?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why Timalibon? I need to, let's see what is happening.
So then my question is also like, if you want the lights off, then does that mean you don't have sex during the day? What happens then? There's nothing nicer than seeing what you're doing to your man.
Yeah, but
come on.
Yeah.
So why ubatali fif?
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hot Seat with Penzola. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are in season 4, guys. We've had 3 successful seasons. I did say in our first episode that we're going to be bolder and wiser and talk about sex. We are actually going to talk about the subject. There's a lot more to talk about. Today's episode really speaks to the relationship women have, single women have with sex. As a result, I've got my 2 wonderful guests today, our resident professional of intimacy and sex as a coach, Khomotso. Welcome and thank you again for making time for Hot Seat. And I've also got Atang, who as a single woman wants to explore the discussion around sex. And guys, she gets an opportunity to have a therapy session. I guess that's what you get for making time to come to Hot Seat with Penzola. Ladies, I'm so excited about this topic, and I really just want us to unpack it and not too complicated. And I think I want to start with you, Atang, just as an ordinary citizen. Why do you think that there's a societal pressure to define what we want in a relationship as women?
I think it's because generally as a society we've placed so much of the lead in terms of the topic itself, sex, on men. Men can get away with nyamfuna, but it's frowned upon when I look at a guy and I'm like, nice, nyamfuna. Now you're seen as that girl. But I think to put context to it, as getting to know myself, I then realized, no, it's about this girl over here. Very important to lead what I want in whatever, even if it's nothing serious, even if it's just, I met you last week. Why do I need to put a week, 2 weeks, a month, wait for what? But I know I want sex.
So if you
can we get to the point? Can we get to the point? And I think that comes with as a single person. I've been in that I gave myself time. I consciously made a decision and I said, you know what? Let's chill, Mukia. Let's not look for a relationship. Let's understand.
But also have fun because
I mean, right? Let's chill. You know what you want. You know okay. But I don't want the person coming with it. I don't want the baggage actually that comes with it. I don't want to. I just want and that's it. So that's actually what I've also observed, and I think you've articulated it perfectly in terms of just being able to lead and just be okay with what you want. And I want to bring in Khomotso here, because you obviously see a lot of people and couples and single people that come to you for professional help. How do you coach them to take the lead? Because it's one thing talking about taking the lead, right? Especially having grown in a society where if you take the lead, once you spend,
it's frowned upon.
So what does that coaching look like for taking the lead?
I liked what Atang said. It's that decision that you make. I've got needs. Why must I wait? Why must I now? I'm not looking for a relationship. Hence, why must I make the sexual experience like husband numbers banbani next week? We are human. As a woman, it's time to own. It starts there. Own your own sexuality. I've got feelings. I just want this person for one night, maybe two, and then I'm
But
done.
that depends.
I'm not looking for a soulmate. I'm not looking for blesser. I'm not looking for somebody to take care of my life. I just want sex. I happen to wake up horny today. The goal for today is let's get laid. I don't want somebody in my bed. Get sharp. So it's about being okay with that. But unfortunately, like what your society has put this pressure on it. But as a woman, that's not okay. It's okay for guys to do that. They do that all the time. And about the high five. You know, my nigga, jita. But why is it that when a woman does the same thing, then it's like, yo, girl, you've been out here in these streets, nah? But it's like, no, I know who I am. I know what I want. Why must I lie? Why must I pretend to be something I'm not? Why must I pretend to want something I'm not? Just for one thing. So now I must have a 6 months relationship because I found somebody attractive. I thought he's got a cute bum. And I thought, oh, between the sheets, it's happening. That's all I want. Intellectually, one bora. Outside of the bedroom, there's nothing that we talk about. It does not fascinate me. I don't see a future with this person. But now because society, because I don't want body count in the increase, I'm like, okay, let me push for 6 months in and then let me take a gap after that, so that you know, have class. Yeah, it's kabankari, you know, yanung a. But why? Why well?
So Atang, let me come back to you, right? So you have said it's taken you a while because you now know who Atang is. In fact, you're probably still on the journey of discovering who Atang is. How do you ask for what you want now? In this journey that you're on, you know, I'm assuming that mentally you are comfortable with demanding. How does Atang ask for what she wants?
Look, literally, you know, I always say, Uti, recently, it's so funny how an exchange of numbers has literally become Okshela. Right? So no one asks you, actually, can I get to know you type of thing. It becomes, okay, we exchange numbers, we met, and that's it. Now that we've exchanged numbers, that is out of the way. I'm very, very vocal, very vocal about, look, dude, I'm single, I'm a mom, this is how my setup is in terms of me being available, right? So immediately from the onset, I will state to Lalela, because I only have so much time in between being a parent and availing myself as Atang and wanting what I want. I will send you a message and say, dude, are you available? I need. Okay. Hence, from the start, I will say, no, dude, get a romela message. When I want to see you, and see you means, obviously, I can't come to your house and just to come and look at you. I mean, I can look at the TV at my house, but when I send you a message, it's exactly that, and it doesn't need to be uncomfortable. If you're not available, say so. I'm not available, or can we rain check, whatever the case is, but can we
guys,
be upfront?
You're hearing it, and I think if you are a single woman out there that actually wants to dictate what they want, that is comfortable, that understands themselves, talk to us, drop us a comment, ask Atang a question. You know, I've got my resident therapist here who obviously does this as a profession. Really, and you know, if you have a question for her, guys, I'm going to make sure that she answers your question. But I think for me, this is a subject I'm really excited about. And talk to me about how you view your body. How does that affect how you demand sex and how you actually let go and have sex? You know, because we're shaped differently. We all feel differently about what we look like. Mentally, you might want to demand, but you know, there might be that voice that speaks to something else. Maybe let me start with you, Khomotso. In your experience, the people you talk to, how does the body drive how you demand the sex?
You know, your self-image is very important in how you relate with the world, in general. And now currently we have this whole body positivity movement, or own the body you in, whether you're big or you're skinny. Love your body, you know. So I like to get some of my clients to say, you know, when you take a shower, when you get out, don't rush to put
Check
your clothes
yourself
on.
out.
Walk around naked.
Yeah.
Round and
Yeah.
stand in front of the mirror and look at
Like-
your check. Nice, everything is it's happening. It's good. You have to love your body first. You have to love how you look naked. You have to be comfortable with your own nudity before you can expect somebody else to look at you and be like, oh yeah. I think because it's not as much as men are visual, but then they're also attracted to your confidence. If you
Yes.
are confident. He won't mind the one boob is bigger than the other.
Or
Honali fupa or all they're
You
going to
owning
see is a
it.
strong, independent woman who's comfortable with her sexuality, who's in love with her body, and that makes you even more attractive. So it makes that connection just go
Yeah.
seamlessly.
Yeah.
And so love yourself first.
It's true what you're saying, because when I started training, right, for the longest of time I've had issues. I don't like this, I don't like my bum, I don't like. But when I started working out, now you know how you're looking at that mirror at the gym and you're like, I think I like
Yes,
that,
yeah.
right? It exudes in how I then relate to the
Yeah.
next person.
Yeah.
Ukuthi, ungawari, I know.
Ngiyazazi.
Yeah, exactly.
Ngiyazazi ukuthi ngiyashisa.
Ngiyashisa.
Yeah, and ukuthi what you think,
It really doesn't.
yeah, you'll come to the party if you're coming to the party, but here's this girl who knows
Yes.
ukuthi ngiyazi ukuthi mangimile ukuthi ke happy ka maoto aka, ke happy ka, you know. So I fully agree.
I have another question for you, Atang. So you mentally already, you demand what you demand, you are ready, wajima, lerago la tlhaga, wa itse, confidence.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the actual activity itself, right?
Yeah.
So how much of the control do you take in the activity itself, and how do you direct? Like, and on top of that, are there any other do you do research? Do you watch porn videos to learn some of these things? How do you teach yourself to keep up with?
To what Khomatso said, you first need to learn your body, and I think research porn. I watch it comfortably so that I cannot expect you to give me what I don't know about myself.
Correct.
Right? So if I know it, I know exactly how to lead you there. I may not say it vocally, but I'll lead it. And I think energy, though, is very important. That's why I want to at least chill nyana luena, even if it's 5 minutes. Let's see how the energy flows, because then it directs how do I need to vocally say it and say, no, can we try? But I've found that I haven't had to vocalize it. I direct, and the person will then follow, right?
Okay.
You know, okay, my touch spots are this and that. So leading the hand is not, when the energy is there, it's not too much of a job to do. So
Have you ever experienced where the energy was wrong and it just wasn't working out? It was, and then you just wanted to stop, Nji. Like, talk to us about those ones that are not nice. Yeah, kunzima.
in the streets.
Especially as a single woman, right? Like,
Look, conversation-wise, it looked like it was going, but the moment now you on some, you wanna set the scene. Like no, let's not do that. Timalibon, why?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why Timalibon? I need. Let's see what is happening. So. I unfortunately bumped into one of those. Timalibon, and that just put me off.
After Timalibon,
No, that put me off, and I was like, okay, no, I think can I go home, because I don't like finding myself in an uncomfortable position. Back then, when I was still younger, I probably would have been feeling bad, or okay, maybe let me just for no.
Yeah, so Khomatso, I think based on what Atang just said, I want to ask you, so for anyone out there that's watching and they are feeling that they are that girl that wants the lights off because they are not feeling comfortable with their body, or they just what would you say to that? So say this is a person that was in your coaching, in your therapy session. How would you assist them?
Wait, we don't want to now shock somebody and say, no, tomorrow you go and have the lights on.
Yeah.
Then it's something, they have to do it gradually. We might say, okay, maybe start with open the curtain so that the light from outside comes in, instead of having it be pitch black, or have one side lamp on and wear like a little handkerchief over so that then the light is muted. Have some light so that at least you can see the outline, you can see, and then the more comfortable you get, then let more light and use more light as you get comfortable, as you get more comfortable. I mean, then my question is also like, if you want the lights off, then does that mean you don't have sex during the day? What happens then? So it's that logic that now you have to try and but if you can't do it during the day, what's the issue?
Yeah.
King, what happens? Are you blindfolded during the day? What's happening? So it's that thing, you have to understand, check what's the level of being comfortable. And then what is the issue about them wanting the lights on? Is it because it's a thing of they're not comfortable in their own skin? Oh, sorry. They're not comfortable in their own skin, or maybe they don't like how they look naked, or it's a thing growing up we were conditioned and we were told that no, sex is something that happens behind closed doors at night when people are sleeping, the kids are asleep. How your husband or your man does the things, you lie there, they do their business, then everybody goes to sleep, and that's it. Understand? But it's like thing, then
it's a chore.
Then it's a chore. Then where's the enjoyment? To enjoy it, you have to engage, actively engage. You have to see your partner's reactions. I mean, there's nothing nicer than seeing what you're doing to your man. Come on.
Yeah.
So why you must see. Look, what is he packing? What is he working with?
Yes, what are we working with?
Exactly. It's only fifi. Like, come now.
Yeah.
Somebody once asked me, would you be able to identify your partner just by picture, his private parts? So that's the thing. So
never thought about that.
If it's nighttime, huli fifi. So how will you recognize? Let's just say, heaven forbid, all you are able to see is down there, and then you don't know, does it go to the left, to the right? Is there a mark, beauty spot, birthmark, something? Yeah. So you have to be comfortable with that. So it's just, let's get to that level of being comfortable, but we take it step by step. Like we don't want to shock somebody and then have them have this negative attitude towards sex. It's about, let's take it bit by bit. Let's move up on the comfortable scale. We start kancane, as you get more comfortable, we add something else. The more comfortable you get, then we add something else. Just like that.
And do you think that age has something to do with it? I mean, at the back of my head, I think it probably does. But, how do we transform this narrative? I mean, someone like Atang, who is where she is now in terms of age and who's now found it comfortable. And I must say, I had to make a lot of phone calls to find someone who was comfortable to come. Which then tells me this is still a thing.
Yeah.
It is still a thing. People don't
and
want
it's something to be spoken about.
Yeah. So it just says that as women we are still shy in being expressive about the subject, right? So I guess what I'm trying to ask is, what conversations are you having, Atang, in your circle, being in this position and being comfortable?
Okay.
And when you then say, I don't want a relationship, I just want the sex, guy, what's the reaction?
There's still a bit of, type of thing.
Where do you come from?
Can we trust you around our guys? But I think I've got quite a good circle, but I also have exposure to different people in my walks of life. I do hikes, I meet a couple of people, but I always bring it up, Uguti. Look, at the end of the day, it's about Atang. Penny will have an opinion about how they think your relationship life should look like. They will have an opinion about, but where does the sex happen? Udula le ngwana. You know?
Yes, good place.
Are you bringing these guys home? But the minute the conversation happens in a somebody will make a comment about something and we all jump in, but how about this? And introduce different views. Even if I don't agree with that view, but I've learned to become that person that will throw it in. But what if mhlambe I really want that person and or whatever, it was somewhere and we just feel, what if we just want to sneak in and as you introduce the topics and those views, people start becoming receptive. I think open-mindedness as well. Open-mindedness goes a long way. You challenge your thinking, you challenge you get out of that space where everything becomes about how you feel, you as an individual feel about a certain topic, especially sex. Let's call it sex.
It is. Exactly that.
We don't want to be using by saying pregnacos and no, sex is sex. Yeah. But if it makes it easier for the conversation, we'll call it chips. We'll call it.
There's different types of chips out there. But anyway, this particular chips that we're talking about is sex, and that's what it is. So I want to ask Khomotso what the impact of childhood trauma is on how the person then becomes active in sex as an adult. And the childhood trauma I'm referring to is rape. I've had a guest before where we spoke about a secret that she kept away from her family for 20 years, where she was raped. I'm interested to understand the link. Because you hear a lot of things people say, if you've been raped or you've been traumatized as a child, you become quite promiscuous as an adult. How true is that?
I think it's a general statement. Everybody, we are all different. It just goes back to that. We deal with certain situations differently. What affects you one way will affect me another way. So just because that's a general statement, then they all become promiscuous. Not all of them become promiscuous. With any kind of trauma, it can go either way. Yes, some become hypersexual. It's not out of now there's got this great love or want of sex. For some, it's a way of now I'm going to regain my control over my sexuality. It was taken from me. It was forcefully taken. Now I'll freely give it. No one is going to tell me yes. No one will tell me who, when and how. I'll just give it. Because for them, that's how they regain their control. They control when and who and how. Then on the other end, you find people who shy away from it. They're revolted by it. They cringe from it. They cringe from it. They don't want it. Or as much as they might want it, then they feel guilty or they do want it. Then that reinforces in their mind maybe what the rapist said at the time, it's your fault. And what society is saying, it was your fault, I did this, you were dressed this way, or you said something, or you looked at me some type of way that invited me in. So those kind of things, they play a role in how would you react. If you're made to feel like it's all your fault, that's something that plays back. You want to be intimate with somebody, but then that fear, but now because I'm dead, this has happened to me. So therefore, now sex is this taboo, dirty thing. I can't have it. Yes, I want it, but I should not have it because now I've been conditioned to I was raped, so it was my fault because I invited, or because I was thinking about sex, or because I was having these dirty thoughts I should not be having. Wow. So it also goes back to the narrative that was said. What was your idea around sex to begin with? And I think also the age you were at sometimes does play a role. The younger you were, the more traumatic it is. Especially if you didn't get any help afterwards. You weren't taken for, but afterwards it's like it's done, it's a secret, keep quiet, we don't talk about it. So you don't get therapy, you don't get to process but this was not your fault. Listen, sex is still a wonderful thing when it's consensual, when it's the right
person,
person and you also want it.
Yeah.
But now they leave you alone like that. So of course then you're gonna have all these messed up ideas about sex. So like either you become the township bicycle, or you become
title
the
also
prude. Yes,
that
exactly.
I think was interesting to me that you asked Uguti, does it in a certain way
no, it doesn't.
but also in your answer you then said they then decide to own it, but we title it promiscuity. She's choosing, but I'm now deciding to take back this, that I will lead. I will. But the title,
that goes with it.
Yeah,
it's a pity because this title, the same title, is not given to guys when they have lots of sex with different girls.
No, range.
Anyway, guys, we are still dealing with that societal norm, and I think the evolution is happening, and more and more of us are owning that. I do want to wrap up the conversation, but I've got 2 more questions, and then I'll just allow the people that have come to support this conversation to ask their questions as well. The intimacy, right? So we speak about intimacy, we speak about sex. And my understanding now, having engaged with you and different people, is that sex is different from intimacy. Now, to your taking ownership, I want sex, the bum, I want you to hold me like this. How much of the intimacy is there? Because there's sex. You want to sex and then that's all right, bye-bye. But how much of the intimacy is there in your sexual experiences? Yes.
Look, I don't think you can ever completely take out intimacy out of sex. Intimacy for me is the vibe. I need to look at you and that for me is intimacy. So you can't completely put that off. I guess though, to a certain extent, you sort of channel your thinking into, okay, but this is where we are. Don't internalize it.
This is not the love of your life.
This is not
Umatanda.
No, we are not there. It could be. But I still need to feel in the moment. That is intimacy. I need to be in the moment. I need to enjoy what we are doing. That is intimacy. But then there's also just that after I walk out of here, I can be comfortable with it. I don't need to call you tomorrow. I don't need to send you a message and be like, oh, it was great. No. It will depend. Let it flow. No, I don't. Maybe I don't even want to cuddle. Depends. If the vibe is good, maybe we'll cuddle. But there becomes that distinction. Is it just that we'll pop in and do what we need to do, and you go your way, I go my way, or do we have this thing where
we probably want to do
chill a little bit longer, or
Wow. I must say, I'm really excited about how bold and how comfortable you are. For me, this is a start. Let's understand that there was a point where no one felt like this, right? And you were shy to say, let's change position, because it's like, how do you know this? So I must say, I really I'm excited about it, and I'm grateful that you were able to come and talk to us. What's the one question that you've always wanted to ask a therapist that specializes in this topic that we're talking about? She's here. She's for free. You don't have to pay her.
Sure. It was a difficult one to think about, but I think in learning how my body works, right, I've also picked up that as you go through life and all sorts of other things that happen in between, there's changes to your body. The libido you had at 20 something at 30 something, it may be different, and some days not there at all.
Yeah.
You know, I think I would be interested to know in what non-medicinal methods or advices one could use to get into the flow of having the libido. You may want the sex, but
the body is not coming.
The
Yeah,
feeling
yeah,
is
it's not
It's just
happening.
not coming. But without going to take, I don't know, Viagra or whatever that is on the market, non-medicinal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for that, it's you know, you're talking more of a holistic approach to it. So that it's do your research. There's a lot of, it goes to your diet, number one. What are you putting into your body? That can also impact you. Look at the, these multivitamins that we're taking, the food we're eating that has been treated with hormones, that could also be affecting you. Wow. It's about change your diet out of it. But unfortunately, as women, really, the older you get, we know estrogen starts to go. So, and your the little testosterone we have, it starts disappearing, Leon. So that's why it's important, like, do your research. What other things, what is it that I can eat that actually helps, will help with that. And also keeping healthy, exercising, getting enough rest. Mentally, are you okay? Make sure you are relaxed, no stress. Sorry. Yes, you might not feel, but if you're in a good place, you can work your way there. It just takes you longer. Whereas it took you 30 minutes, it might take you just an hour. It just takes a bit longer to get there. Yeah, but
especially if it's a very long time.
They're like, hey.
Wow, ladies, thank you so much for
Thank
making
you.
the time. Before we close off, I did say I'm going to allow my fellow supporters of the hot seat to ask you some of the questions that they'd like to ask, which I probably may have missed.
So, guys, thank you so much for this amazing show. I'm really enjoying this. And as I was listening to you guys, it occurred to me that I might actually have some sexual healing therapy sessions to go to, because I've got a couple of things that I'm obviously struggling with. The first point is that, the saying that says, why buy the whole pig just to have the sausage? Which is what was really being given today. And I appreciate that, because once you have a pig, you got to take care of it and all of that. But if you eat the sausage, it's a once off, and you call it when you need it.
Yeah, exactly.
However, in my case, I am struggling because I think first and foremost, it comes from the fact that I'm born in the 80s, so people in the 80s are a little bit conservative. So I get a lot of offers to be doffed off. However, my mind cannot overcome this criteria because I'm wired to be mentally stimulated first. And even on top of the mental stimulation, I'm actually not able to have sex until I trust someone. I'm actually so deep. I was telling a best friend of mine, I'm so deep to a point where if I meet someone new, I buy HIV testers. And even if there's a condom, what if it bursts?
Want to,
So I'm realizing that thing actually could be a trauma, in fact. But what I wanted to just add, which is quite interesting from my side. So with all that struggle, because I am divorced, and then so obviously I'm looking for a man, and my description of the man I want is an ambitious man. Like, ambition turns me on.
Okay.
But what if there's a micro penis?
That's why I was saying
ambitious.
Correct. That's why I started off by saying mental stimulation. So it's like almost a tick sheet, because it's mental stimulation, then it's the trust and comfort, then obviously it's the size of the right?
By the time you get there,
then you've built all of this and then it's a disaster. I understand you. But one thing I wanted to just share, because I'm glad we have a therapist, because I do believe that thing is wired to probably previous disappointments and that. Because there's nothing wrong with doing a round, but all my life I've never had a one-night stand. And I find that very strange. At this point, to answer the comment that you made, because you were saying, what if you struggle to get into it? And so from my learning is that immediately I turned, I think about 38, I was horny like
constant. You're building the peak.
39, guys, it got out of control.
You're like,
It got so out of control. I actually dated a Ben 10.
Aibo.
That's how out of control it got. And I'm
And
sorry,
it's
I
like-
was still married, but yeah.
Yeah, it is
It
what
was,
it is.
it was bad. So I think with women, the older we get, it actually becomes better. But I must be honest, I'm not wired to do things for playing. I want a relationship, and I think it's bad, this thing, because relationship is work, guys. I've got 3 kids. I've got to do my work is demanding, and then now the man is also a baby.
You're building this pig.
You know, a man is a baby.
Yes.
You have to baby a man. So I wanted to find out from the therapist, do you think that thing is, because I think the way we were brought up, because I'm born in 1980, and how we were raised, we, even shelling a guy, we don't do it. Like, because I've had times where I see a guy and I'm like, this is a steak. It's medium rare the way I want it. Kobe beef imported from Japan. And I see it and I want it. Guess what? I will never eat it. I'm sorry, I don't know.
No, will
So
you
I
order
think
it?
I could play around with it in, just, but I will never go eat it until.
Checklist.
Yeah,
Checklist.
so I don't know if it's a problem, this thing for me, because I do want to indulge.
Homoto, do you want to perhaps, obviously, we're not going to solution mode, but your quick thoughts on that comment.
Yeah, no, I think I keep saying, Velori, how we are, society, how we are socialized has a lot to do with how we perceive the world and how we interact within that world. I'm also a 1979 baby, so clearly I was raised the same way. But at some point, it's up to you. Do you change that narrative? Do you choose to change it, or do you stick with it? I mean, if you don't have a problem with it, then why fix it? If when you are comfortable being that person, who's forcing you to do things? Yeah, but now if you want to change it, that's something that starts with yourself. Or number one, why do you want to change that? Is it because now society says you must change it because now we are woke? So now you feel like, hey, FOMO, I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be, I don't want to be a prude. Or it's like genuinely now, I want to be able to. Then you start to work on yourself.
But stumbling blocks of, he must be intellectually like
Stimulated.
Yeah, he must be trusted.
Trusted.
I don't need to trust you.
Then unfortunately, then the one night stand will never be your thing because it takes you. You're not gonna learn all of that in one night or in one sitting.
So much.
Yes. So I mean, if that's how you roll, that's how you roll. It's okay. You can learn to make amendments here and there, but then the core beliefs, the core issues that make you. There's no need to change that. You can find maybe shortcut so that it doesn't take you something that before it would take you 6 months. Maybe now you can do it in 3 months. So just shorten the period. So be willing to compromise in certain areas, but where you don't compromise, don't compromise.
So I guess then I think that question or that comment requires you to book.
Yes, a session and just come in and we work through everything.
And guys, if any of you are feeling exactly like what our ghost guest was asking in terms of the questions, I mean the Khumoto's details are on your screen. You can contact her directly, set up an appointment, start the journey of understanding who you are, start the journey of taking control of your sexuality, decide when you want it, how you want it, and let's also understand that this change that we want is happening within the men environment. And I think they need to also just understand the change, because whilst we are
moving forward,
discovering what we need to change, they become then the impediment of the change because they're not used to.
You're shaking the boat.
So I think the support of the men and whoever is watching there as a guy, understand your role that you play in the changes that we would like to see. We want to have healthy sexual relationships, not ones that are dominated by men, not ones that are forced on us, but how we want it, when we want it, and really that's the topic of the day. Well, she did say, why buy a whole pig to have a sausage? If you want that sausage, guys,
Just get the sausage. Get the sausage.
And don't feel guilty about it. We
enjoy land.
We're right. Any other comments that we have or questions?
So So this one again is, I think it's related to our age group. So recently, a sister of mine, she's about 25, or she's 25, I think. So as you can see, there's a huge gap between me and her. And she gifted me with a dildo, because I'm single. And then, interestingly enough, when I tried this thing, it was quite a killer. It was an atomic bomb.
It was that good.
So it's not a typical one. It's not a typical one that penetrates. It's the one for the clit. So the magic out of that thing is too much. So I called her and I swear at her. I said, "You just ruined my sex life." This thing is so amazing, and it's got different levels of vibration, frequency, all of that. So you can choose how you want to operate yourself. And it is good to gift yourself with that. But now my question that I want to ask the therapist is this, because I think black men are, the way they are cultured and the way they are brought up, especially if you look at tribalism. I don't foresee me giving my boyfriend this thing and saying, do me with this thing first before we get to. So I just want to know from you, are men open to this? Because I find it offensive. Like I think if I was a man and a woman gave me this thing to do whatever before we get into whatever, I might have been offended. I don't know. But now that I've experienced it, by the way, it took me turning 42 to have a dildo. That's how deep my stupid nonsense is. So I need a session. But then obviously after I discovered, I would like to actually introduce this thing as part of the session. But do you think it is I don't have an idea whether it is like a typical couple's activity, but I can tell you I was with a man 18 years. And even when he stayed in Canada 2 years, Botswana 2 years, he refused me buying a dildo. So imagine introducing it into the party. I just want to hear with you guys, what is your take on that? Because definitely when I get a man now, I want to...
You want to have it there.
And I'm no longer apologetic, although I still want the trust and the bonding and all. But I can tell you now, I'm going to say, take this thing and do it like this. Volume up, volume down.
Own it. Yes.
So thanks for that. I think we can probably sit here the whole day, right? So we do have to wrap up, and I'm just going to give you, both of you, I mean,
it's a relatable topic.
So comment, and then I'll give you to comment, and then close off.
Should I? Yeah. Okay.
I want you to start.
Look, having been quite familiar with that space of toys, the one thing that I've learned, it goes back to the confidence thing. If I'm owning it, right, the person also sees this, and you exert this owning this toy, right? Yes, there's a dependency on that person's mindset and how they perceive things generally. But I think it's quite important to maybe have, before Repaliona in the scene, let's first have a discussion about just quite in a non-serious type of conversation. You know, these things clicks, you know, mole, you know, or even in the shop, and just see their reaction. I think that will lead to how you then introduce this thing, because out of Leona and you are there in the middle of the act. I don't care how open the person is. Gents have this ego of what's this now? You know? So lead mate like that in a store. We walking into whatever discount clicks, and what do you think about this? Would you be open to this? You know, it's different. It's finally me rocking up in
the middle of the act.
And also visualization, me walking in with lingerie. That's different. That is a nice surprise. You know, now like this vibrating ring, and it's like. To your point earlier, it then makes them questionable. But are you saying I'm not
good enough? I'm not
good
doing
enough.
The things,
do you say I'm not getting you there? So it's the tact of how you introduce it in.
Yeah, I think just to add on to what Atang said, it's that's why it's important to have those conversations before you actually go and do the deed. I mean, it won't be fair to just bring this on somebody, and we know men gently ego. They have issues with, then you bring out this monster dildo, and then shame, he's a bit short. So, yes, exactly. So you have to be considerate of his feelings. So that's why it's important to have these discussions beforehand, to say, you know what, now I'm a freak. I like to have toys when we are doing the things. It's not because you're not doing it, it just adds on. You know, they have to understand, it's just an add-on. It's a thing of, you know what, you do it so well. But this just takes both of us over the edge. It's just when the learner, once he's comfortable, it's just to see the pleasure that it's extra pleasure that he's giving you. So yes, it's the toys, but then he's the one who also in charge of the vibration, how much vibration. He's controlling that toy as well. So it's just, that synergy.
He's still driving this activity.
Yes, exactly. So that's how you do it. You don't just say in between Hali and I said,
I say it's not
gonna end well.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it will not. That will not go well. You know. So.
Oh my word! Thank you so much for joining. It's been such a pleasure having this conversation. I actually haven't laughed in this. In such a long time. I really love this conversation, guys. I think join in on the conversation, drop us a comment. I definitely would like to hear what your thoughts are. Atang and Khumuzo is obviously going to be answering your questions as well. You can contact Khumuzo on the contact details showing on the screen. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to Penzola. It's been a real thing. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Do not buy the whole cow if you only want the sausage. The whole cow comes with a lot of baggage.
Exactly.
But then again, guys, there's nothing wrong with wanting a whole pig. Did I say cow?
Pig.
Whatever it is, guys. Whether it's cow, whether it's pig, oksalayo. If you're looking for a relationship, understand what it comes with. But own your sexuality. If it's just sexual pleasure that you're looking for, be bold about it, be directive, express yourself. Promiscuity is a title that is negative that's been given to females that are bold about who and what they want from sex. Let's keep demystifying these societal norms. It's been a real thing. Love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We out.
Thank you.
Cool.
As your glass is empty.
It speaks to what is the relationship, or rather, what relationship. Blooper. I'm not taking it from the top. I'm just going to take it from